5 steps to better singing. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that you can improve your singing with little to no effort. Now, there might be a few reasons why you think your singing doesn't sound as good as you would maybe like it to be, or maybe you don't feel like it sounds as good as your favourite singers. So there's lots of things going on that might make you feel like your singing isn't as good as you think it should be. Lack of technique. So lack of technique is not knowing how to use your voice in the way it was designed to. Lack of confidence. That's a big thing. I hear this from a lot of singers. I hear this from a lot of singers who are actually pretty good at singing. There is also overconfidence. Being overconfident as a singer can also can also hinder your ability to deliver in an authentic, consistent, impressive way. We're not always out to impress people, but people who are overconfident tend to have thoughts about wanting to impress people. And I'm not putting anyone down. I used to be a very overconfident singer myself, so I know where this is coming from. And also a dislike of your own voice or fear of using your own voice. That's really going to stop you from being the singer that you can be. So 5 tips. The first thing is to really think about, when you're going into a song, before you even think about singing, think about what you want to bring to the audience through the song. When you think about the emotions that you want to convey, the delivery that you want to give, how you want to make the audience feel, that is all going to influence the way that you sing. Now, before you start singing, when you're ready to then actually perform, or you're ready to practice, whatever it is that you're doing in terms of actually singing the song, think about the way that you're going to use your voice before you start singing. Lots of singers I know, they just rush in, start bashing out words and melodies and lyrics and sounds, and have no idea what kind of sounds they're trying to make. So when you think about what you want to do before you do it, that's going to make singing much easier for you, and it's going to make the delivery and the sound of your voice much more pleasant to listen to. Number 2, creating consistent vocal tone. This does take practice, it does take time, and it does take technique. Now, throughout a song, there might be lots of different sounds, lots of different techniques that you use, and even different tones that you use within a song. But within one phrase, usually a verse or a chorus, you want the tone to be consistent. You want your voice to sound the same throughout the phrase. You don't want to, in one part be singing head voice for a couple of words, and then chest voice for a couple of words, and then twang for a couple of words. It just sounds like you don't know what you're doing. So when you aim for a more balanced sound and a more consistent tone, you're going to find that A, you're going to have more control, and B, you're going to have more confidence. Your voice is going to sound more like the way you would like it to sound. Number 3, this is a pet hate of mine, swooping at the beginning of lines. If we take a song like That's Life, that's a song that most people know. Now the crooners, Frank Sinatra is a crooner, they tended to swoop at the beginning of their lines. That's life, that's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. That's fine if you know what you're doing. But if you've just gotten into that habit and you do that all the time, wherever, sometimes at the beginning of every line, sometimes in the middle of lines, often you lose control of your pitching. So you might start to sing flat, you might start to sing out of tune. And also it can take away from the stylistics of the song. So if you're singing a pop song and you're swooping all over the place, or you're singing an R&B song and you're swooping all over the place, and especially a rock song, it's not going to sound like a pop song or an R&B song or a rock song, because you're using a different style. So if you do want to swoop at the beginning of lines or even in the middle of lines, make sure that you know where you want to do it and you're doing it in a controlled way. If you're enjoying this, remember to hit like, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you get all of my future videos. And if you're new to the channel, then go back and find some other videos. I've got lots of videos and there's something to help you. And also share this with someone that you think is going to benefit. Number 4, flipping. What do I mean by that? This is a very, very on-trend way to sing, has been for the past probably 15 years. It's starting to come out of trend now. People are singing a lot straighter and with better technique. It happens a lot in pop music, and it's that kind of So if we take a song like Heaven, the cover version of Heaven, baby, you're all that I want when you're lying here in my arms. I've heard, for some reason, I don't know why, but I've heard a lot of singers singing it like this, adding flips all over the place. Baby, you're all that I want when you're lying here in my arms. I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. Now, if you know that you're doing it and you're doing it purposely, that's fine. You just may not want to do it all over the place. But most of the singers that I've come across that are flipping all over the place don't know that they're doing it and don't have any control over it. So what I would recommend is that you listen back to yourself singing. If you don't like the sound of your voice, at some point you're going to have to move forward from that, because as a singer, you're going to hear yourself singing. So get used to the sound of your voice. If it feels cringy, it won't in a few weeks. So record yourself singing, listen to it back, listen out for any flips. If there aren't any there, that's fine. If you're finding that it's all over the place, it could be that you just really like that style of singing, but you must get control of it in order to get more vocal control. And then add it sparingly to make an impact. When we do something too much, it has no impact. When you do it just at the right time, it adds a massive impact, and people and yourself will consider you a much better singer. And number 5, singing in a calm way. Most singers at the beginning, they're over singing, they're really enthusiastic, they feel like they have to push everything, they feel like they have to give all the high notes loads of power. And although you might want to project and sing with power, you don't have to push everything. When you calm down the nature of your singing, it's going to be much easier to get control. I've mentioned control a lot in this video, and it's going to feel to the audience like you know what you're doing and that you're able to handle the songs that you're singing. So rather than screaming everything out, you really want to approach things in a much calmer way. You can use technique exercises for this. You can use vocal control exercises. I'll put some links in the description. Just holding a really light note, so something like and as you move up in pitch and you get to the higher notes, you realise that you don't need to push everything. You don't need to give everything. You don't need to give all of your effort to every part of the song. You want to make an impact. You want to take the audience on a journey. And you as a singer, you want to go on the journey and bring the audience with you. So if you're pushing everything and screaming everything out all the time, there's no beginning, middle and end. There's no start and no finish. It's just big, 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 big all the time. Even big singers like Shirley Bassey, Celine Dion, Beyonce, Freddie Mercury, they really do take the audience on an emotional journey, and they do this by having control over their vocals, and you do this by approaching it in a much more calm way. Embrace the sound of your own voice and embrace the fact that you don't need to sing everything with lots of power, and you don't need to put loads of effort into singing. So I'll probably given you a few extra bonus tips there. So to summarize, think about the way you're going to approach the song that you're about to sing. Keep your vocal tone consistent, There are exceptions, singers like Nina Hagen, I never know how to pronounce her name. She uses a lot of different vocal tones in one phrase, but that's very, very, very deliberate and very practiced. Avoid swooping at the beginning of every line or in the middle of lines if it's not stylistically correct. And if you are swooping, you want to develop control over it. Avoid flipping all over the place, get more control of your voice, and approach singing much more calmly. So I hope this has helped you to understand more about how you can improve your singing with little to no effort. It takes more listening than singing in most cases. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay hydrated. Ciao!